Hey there, we're going to talk about the pen tool, and I have thrown a cute little Bitmoji here on the bottom of this and then made a new layer that I'm going to use my pen tool on. And I locked the bottom layer because I'm just going to use it to trace over, so I just want to be able to see it while I'm working. And I'm going to zoom up closely, and we're going to work on this little, tracing this little arm of this alligator. So let's take a look at the pen tool. I've torn off the pen tool, so I clicked and held and pulled this off. So I've got the button here, and I'm going to create this arm. So I'm going to start with just the initial pen tool. And notice when you get ready to start with the pen tool, you see an asterisk. That means that you're starting a new path, okay? Now, it's going to be really hard to see because the pen tool fills in as you go. So I'm actually going to go ahead and pull the opacity down for now, which will make it see-through, just so I can see through what's going on here, okay? All right, so here I go. I'm ready to roll. I'm going to click once to begin my path. Now, if I come down here, the whole goal of the pen tool is to be able to draw these curves without having to do it later, okay? So I've clicked one time, and then now I'm going to click over here. And the way I try to explain it is like, look at it as if it's a rainbow, and you're going to the other side of the rainbow. So now I'm on the other side of the rainbow. I'm going to click my mouse, but I'm not going to let go. So I'm clicking, I'm not letting go, and I'm dragging. See these little guys? These are your handles, but I'm going to drag the handles the other direction and pull them down until I get them to match pretty close to where that is, okay? And then I'm going to let go. Now, here's my next handle. And if your handle's already going where you need it to go, and in this case mine kind of looks like it is, then I can go ahead and click and continue on. Or I can click and pull so that I can have another handle to deal with coming out of that one, okay? Now, if you've used Photoshop before like I have, and you mess up on one of these points, like say I click here and I don't mean to, you cannot press backspace like you can in Photoshop to back up. You have to press the delete key, and I wish it wasn't that way, but you have to press delete. Now, once you do that, if you start clicking, notice it's got the asterisk next to it again. It's going to start over. It's going to start a new path. If I want to continue the existing path, I have to come back and point to the end of this one and get that little line that you see right there. That means continue. So I'm going to click here to continue on, and now I'm going to go on. Now this path is a pointy path. See, it doesn't have handles. So if I decided I wanted handles, I would come back to this path, point to it, and now you'll see a little caret icon, which would allow me to pull a handle. So I'm going to point to this and click and pull a handle out of here that goes the direction of this curve. So I'm pulling the direction of this curve. Okay, so now it's connected to the other handle, so you can see if I move it. And I let go. And so now I've got that handle. And so now I can come over here. And again, click and drag and don't let go and pull out a handle. Don't get the handles confused with the actual path, though. All right, so there we are. And then you continue on. Now notice here, this is not going to go right. This is a little bit too big. So I need to adjust this handle. Now you can't just come down here and pull on it. You have to hold down the Alt key. And that's going to change your mouse into that little caret thing. And so now I can pull this handle kind of the better direction and then come over here and insert this point here, click, and then I'm going to click and drag a little because I need a little bit of curve. So click and drag to pull out a handle. All right, now I just need to go straight across. And that's not working out so well because it's jumping up. Okay, so I'm going to hold down my Alt key. While I have that caret, I'm going to make my handle go straight across because I want to go straight across. Okay, and then I'm just going to click. Now, this is a hard one to do because I would be clicking like right on the handle, so I'm going to go just right above the handle. All right, and then again, we're coming down here. I'm just going to, if it's a little short, you can always just click and drag to create that curve. So here I go. I'm going to get to the other side of the rainbow here. Click and drag, create the curve. Mess with it a little bit until you get it. And there we go. Come here, get to this one. If it's short, if it's under the rainbow, you're usually okay. And then click and drag and pull it up. There we go. Okay. Now, again, it didn't keep my opacity here, so you can't actually see these color changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop here. I'm going to press Escape, which stops the path. And then I'm going to click on it real quick. And now I'm going to modify that opacity that I tried to modify the first time but didn't stay, so we can see through this. Okay, all right, here we go. Now I'm back. I'm going to go back to my pen tool. And then, let me click back on the path first. I'm going to click back on the path with the white arrow tool. That's the direct selection tool. So now I've got my points and everything again, and then back to my pin. Now, if I point back at my path, see, that's the icon you need here to continue. So the star, the asterisk, would make a new path. But if I point to it and I get that little line, then it's going to continue. So I'm going to click once to continue. And now it knows that it's coming from that path. So I'm just going to connect straight across. So I'm going to go here and click, and then go under the rainbow, click and pull. Okay. And if I want to go this way, I'm going to have to alter this handle. So I'm going to hold Alt, pull this handle so it's faced the direction up of the rainbow there. Come down here, click and drag to get it where I want it to be. Now, I probably wouldn't actually have this crease between his arms, but notice here I would get a hole. So again, holding down Alt, pulling this one up so it goes that direction, go to the other side of the rainbow, and pull. Okay, now this one's not going the right direction. I need it to go up. So Alt, take this, point it up, because I'm going up. Okay, other side of the rainbow, click, and pull. Okay, going the wrong way now, so Alt, pull this to go back up that direction. Other side of the rainbow, pull. Okay, and you just kind of repeat the process. You just keep going. Again, there wouldn't be separation between these, so it's not really what I would want. I wouldn't want a little hole here. Again, Alt, pull out. Oops, I didn't grab a hold of it that time. There we go. Alright, so there. Oops, and look, I messed up. So I got off of the path. So I'm going to press delete, and I find the end point. See, there it is. Click it to connect again, and then I can continue on. So I'm going to go under. I can continue there. Go down here. Click and pull. As long as you're under the rainbow, you're good. I need to change angles. So Alt and pull. Oops, I didn't get a hold of it again. Alt and pull, so it's going that direction. I'll just go here. I'm not going to go all the way in. Oh, I lost it again, so I'm going to press delete. I'm going to hover and find my path. I'm going to click back on there. There we go. And there we go. Click and pull. Click and pull. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, so I'm going to press delete. Don't press delete twice, by the way, or it'll delete the whole path. Because once you press delete once, it's kind of like ready to roll, okay? Now, after the fact, like if I need this to be a V, because right now it's not a V, it's kind of curving downwards, see, like this. Afterwards, no problem. Click on it with that white direct selection arrow on the anchor first to pick it. And then hold down Alt, point to this, and change the angle. See, now I can make it go the other direction. I don't need to go up that high. Now I can come back to this one and kind of do the same thing, and so forth. And that's pretty much it. Now, if I did want to actually close this off, I'd switch back to my pen. I'd get that one little icon we're looking for, and then close it off. And then if I did need it to be a certain color, then I could go back up here and pull my opacity back to where I could actually see it, and go from there. So hopefully that helps you understand the pen tool a little bit better. Just remember that everything's always editable. So once I'm done, I can always come back with the white arrow tool, click on it, and then I can adjust a handle. If a handle is connected to another handle and I need to move them independently, not a big deal, like this one. If I need to move them independently, then I would just take Alt, and I would pull this handle out independently. Now, that's going to make this eventually kind of have like a weird indentation point if I'm not careful, because now this one will move independently, and I'm going to end up with like some muscles or something going on over here. So unless you're wanting that, you know, you've got to be careful about disconnecting those. If you need to connect them back, if you've messed up your points like so, you can come back up here and convert your points. So I can click right back on there and round that point back out, and then no harm done. Or like this is a pointy point. If it's a pointy point and you want to round it, just click on here to round it, or click back on here to point it. Now when you have it pointy, it doesn't have any handles. So if you decided you needed handles, you'd need to round it back out and then deal with it from there. And if you did need to add additional points, that's what your pen plus and minus are for. So if I needed another anchor point in here somewhere, let's say I had to change something, I can just take this on plus, point anywhere on the path, you'll see a plus sign, see, and then click, and it adds an additional point, which then I can take the white arrow tool, not the pen, the white arrow once you've already drawn it, to click on, and then I can move that around and do what I need to. And again, if I need it to be rounded, come up here and round it. Okay. If you need to get rid of this point, you decide you got too many points or whatever, take the minus one, point to it, it'll show a minus, and minus that out. All right, so I hope this gives you a little bit of a better understanding of how to use the pen tool on the fly. A lot of people just kind of click, 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 click about a million times, but to have really nice smooth paths, you don't want to do that. You want to try to learn to draw those curves as best you can on your own. So good luck.